One of the most awesome experiences in the Kimberley is travelling down the King George River. On either side of the river, cliffs of Walton Sandstone tower, often 80 metres above the river. The river is a little over 400 kilometres west-southwest from Darwin, across the Joseph Bonaparte Gulf. The total length of the river is 112 kilometres, rising in the Ashton Range in the Kimberley. The mouth of the river is deep in Kulama Bay. None of the early European explorers, such as Nicolas Baudin, who sailed through this area in 1801, and who also named the Napoleon Bonaparte Gulf, after Napoleon, who'd approved the expedition, found it. Philip Parker King and John Stokes also missed it. It was not until 1911 that Charles Congreve, an ornithologist, was exploring the Kimberley and came across the river and named it after the English king who'd just been crowned. But he did not find the waterfalls or trace the river to its mouth. Like other rivers in the area, this river probably once fell into the sea over the sea cliffs. But over millions of years it has eroded the rocks, retreating inland and creating this great gorge. We had a long way to go later that day to Darwin, so we'd set off early before the sun was high enough to pierce the gorge. As we travelled south on the Explorer, the sun rose on the west bank, turning the rocks a gorgeous reddy orange. The Walton Sandstone is naturally cream in colour, but there is some oxidised iron in it, which accumulates on the surface to create the red in the rock. Some 12 to 14 kilometres upstream, the river divides into two, and one finds oneself at the base of two waterfalls, each between 80 and 100 metres high. Claimed to be the highest single falls in Western Australia. The flow over the waterfalls in the wet season is immense and produces great spray and mist. The water disintegrates particles of sand in the rock. This is aided by salt crystals growing in the rocks. The result is small hollows or tophonae in the rocks, and a multitude of these tophonae produces a honeycomb effect. The moisture in the air also leads to the development of cyanobacteria, which colour the rocks black. Over time, the rocks are undermined by the water flowing underneath, and great blocks of stone can fall down the slopes into the river. In some places where the rocks have slipped and the scree slopes formed, trees have grown, particularly the woollybutt or Eucalyptus miniata. At the base of some of the scree slopes, river mangroves have taken root. There are crocodiles, dugong, and a variety of fish in the river, but we did not see any of them. We did see a large osprey nest. They like to build their large nests on cliff ledges where they have a good view of the river below. We hurried back to the ship, where the captain was keen to get underway for the final stage of our trip across Joseph Bonaparte Gulf. A little after dawn the next morning, the cityscape of Darwin came into view. About 7:30 a.m, the ship was manoeuvred carefully into the dock. The local officials gathered, and we were allowed to alight.